Was there any consideration that maybe y'all did not want to give up the tradition of always going rave at home in league?
I don't know the whole history of it, Don, but it's really cool to me. I mean, like, I can tell you the guys enjoyed having this set up out here and being involved in Microsoft, a massive company in the city. I think is good for us. It's obviously a huge sponsor of ours. So, I think with the partnership and the relationship, if you were going to do this for anything, I mean, it's not just maybe it's a break from tradition, but it's also a one-off that, again, I think our players would be pretty stoked to have a Halo jersey in their locker, on the weekend. So, it's the Galaxy, it's a playoff game effectively, and marking the occasion with something special like this, I think to me gives it a cool feel, a unique feel. That's a good thing.
Continuing as a relentless downer, are you guys playing on football lines this weekend?
We don't know. We're working on it. We're going to be optimistic until we're not, and we'll work through the process and see where we land.
Do you know when y'all will know?
Later in the week, after we meet more.
How's the stadium looking? Ticket sales and stuff for the open stadium on Sunday?
Really good. Obviously, it's a big game. There's a couple of implications for the match now. I hear that the Galaxy's pretty good this year, and we're unbeaten in 6. I think it's going to be a fun game, and I think there'll be a lot of people there. And I think the jersey's cool, and it's a fun week, and it's an exciting week.
So last year, by this point, sort of the Sounders and Galaxy both pulled away a little bit, and then this year it's just a giant tight race. In your experience, which season is more the norm for this league?
I don't know. I remember, I think I'm getting this right, in 2008, I think the good thing is we got a Columbus PR guy among us. In 2008, when they won the Supporter Shield, I'm pretty sure they won with 49 points, which I believe was 9 points ahead of the last playoff spot, which I happen to be familiar with because we happened to win a 3-way tiebreaker on 40 points to get in on the final day of the season. So if you think of 9 points top to bottom, this looks a lot like 2008. As to whether or not every year is like that, probably not. But it's also probably not that crazy either if once every 7 or 8 years you get one that's pretty tight, and this is tight. And look, we kind of all knew this was coming too, though, right? I mean, when you had to realign the league when you went to 20 teams, so you put 2 expansion teams in the East and 2 former champions in the West. I mean, it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the West was going to be pretty tough. So, and it has been, and it will be all the way down the stretch. And the big thing for us is we just got to focus on us, and if we get points, I think we're going to be just fine.
S2 season now in the books. Look back on that. How do you feel how the first year went?
Some good. We're obviously happy to make the playoffs. We're happy to have signed our first player to the Sounders off of that team. I think there'll be some guys from that team that are going to get invites to the first team preseason next year. But ultimately, that's how that team will be judged, is how many first team players they produce. I think we've all seen the exciting headlines around the league with a couple of weeks ago, Dallas starting 5 homegrown players in a game, and against us, I think Kansas City started 3 homegrown players. And I think that's definitely the way the league's going. Look at the number of homegrowns that Vancouver played against us, and you may say, hey, not all those teams got great results, but that's part of believing in young players and bringing them up. And as I've said probably ad nauseum at this point, S2 is the best way to do that, because we can sign the homegrowns, put them with S2, get them experience there, and hopefully put them in a position to succeed once they reach the Sounders level. So really excited about that project going forward. Definitely have work to do in terms of upgrading the talent in that roster and producing more pro players.